What is articulation, and why does it matter to your piano expression? Welcome to Learn Piano, a personal practice. I'm Cynthia from Cynthia Ali Studios, a place where you can learn and find your joy in music. Before we begin today's episode, I have an exciting announcement. Our next group piano class, called the Mastery Pathway to Piano, is about to begin our third session. We will be starting on Tuesday, April 29th. If you are refreshing your piano skills, this is the perfect time to join. If you've been waiting to begin playing piano again, this is it. Together we'll walk the path towards true piano mastery. For more details or to register, visit cynthiaalistudios.com/piano community, or just check the link in the show notes. In today's episode, we'll be exploring a deeply expressive and often overlooked part of playing music, the articulation. So what is that? Articulation is how you begin and end each note. It's what gives notes their shape, clarity, and an emotional intention. Simply said, it's just how you attack and release the note. So for example, if you press down, that's the attack and then the release. And the style in which you do that is called an articulation. Just like we use pronunciation in speech to say a word clearly or to change a tone in whisper to a shout, articulation is how we pronounce musical notes. Before we dive into musical articulation, I want to offer you a little glimpse of how articulation works through spoken word. And I'd like to use a poem by the American poet Emily Dickinson. She lived a quiet, deeply creative life. She had a small, private, upstairs room in her family home. A space that was private to her, where she wrote nearly 1,800 poems. Most of them were tucked away in drawers and were not seen or shared during her lifetime. She also had a garden which she loved and tended. It was there, among the flowers and the changing seasons, that her poems were fueled. As musicians, we too have our piano studios, our private rooms of musical exploration. They are sacred spaces where we express emotion, explore beauty, and compose music that often no one hears until it's ready. Like gardens, our music needs tending, and just like Emily's flowers, it needs sunlight, space, and some time to bloom. So back to Emily's poem. To help you understand how articulation shapes expression, I'm going to read one of Emily's poems twice. First with the full expression shaped by the clear articulation, and then again without, flattened with no shape or clarity. So here's the poem. A Light Exists in Spring by Emily Dickinson. A light exists in spring, not present on the year at any other period, when March is scarcely here. A color stands abroad on solitary fields, the science cannot overtake, but human nature feels. It waits upon the lawn, it shows the furthest tree. Upon the furthest slopes, you know, it almost speaks to you. Then as horizons step, or noons report away, without the formula of sound, it passes and we stay. A quality of loss, affecting our content, as trade had suddenly encroached upon a sacrament. So now I would like to read this poem without articulation. First, without any consonant, so you'll see how it would sound. I-E-A-A-I by Emily Dickinson. I-A-A-I. O-A-A-A. A-A-A-E-E-A-O. O-A-A-A-R. Or you could use a little articulation, not exactly as it was intended, and it would sound more like this. E-Olar, Ans Road, on Olitary Jed. Tha Ians Ano Vortake, Ut Umen Atur Els. Well, this might be smooth, but is absolutely meaningless. Now add the consonants back in, the crisp T's, the S's, and the sharp K's, and suddenly the poem will speak. Then, as horizon steps, or noons report away, without the formula of sound it passes and we stay. A quality of loss affecting our content, as trade and suddenly encroached upon a sacrament. That's what articulation is like when we play the piano. Without it, your music might seem accurate, but it won't have the aliveness. With it, even a simple melody becomes full of emotion and intent. So I'm going to try to show you a demonstration of this. So if I would just play a melody, I'm going to make a simple one up. And then if I added some articulation, a few staccatos to give it a little bounce. Or I'll give you another example. That's without, and then with. So you can see how articulations make it have more aliveness. The articulation also brings clarity, it can bring a mood, and be the direction in your music to give it a pulse and a feeling. It tells the listener how to feel and not just what you're playing. So I'd like to take a look at articulations in piano music. The first one we're going to talk about is legato, which is a slur. This one is smooth and connected. If you see this symbol in your music, it's going to just be a curved line, either on top of the notes or below the notes, depending on which staff you're on. This one, you can think of the notes connected, comparing it from walking where your feet come up and down, or if you're ice skating, they're gliding. So I like thinking of it as gliding. Some people like thinking of it as a river flowing. So the notes are gently connected. Another way you can think about it is printed handwriting to cursive. So the cursive has the flow. Each one is connected to the next. So I'll show you. First I'm going to show you a regular, so the tack of the note and the release. So a regular sounding note. I'm just going to play a C scale. You would press down and release. And then a slurred one, they would all be connected. Now let's talk about staccato. Staccato is short and detached, like a jumpy, bouncy feeling. When you attack this note, you press down and quickly release. You can think of this one like you're knocking on the door. So how does your hand feel when it knocks on the door? You knock and release, knock, release, knock, release. So if you have trouble with the staccato, just you can practice on your lap, making the knocking motion, and then bring it to the piano. The next one is the accent. The accent looks like a triangle on its side. So this one means a firm emphasis, like louder than the note surrounding. So if you have all loud, so I'll just play like 4 notes as loud. And then if I want to put an accent on the first note, it's going to sound louder. And now I'm going to switch it to the second beat. And now I'm going to switch it to the third. And now the fourth. That is what an accent is going to sound like. It's almost like how when you're typing on the keyboard, and then you just have your regular font, and then if you want it bolder, you're going to put the bold on. So it's like the similar thing for an accent. You're just bolding it so it stands out. And then the next one is a marcato. That one looks like a triangle or a tent standing on its feet. This one you will see when they want you to play very strong, even stronger and louder than an accent. Sometimes it makes me think of marching, or it could be very like almost pounding, that to really make a point. This one is, yeah, sometimes I think of it with a chord where it's even louder. So if we do the 1, 2, 3, 4 again, we go, that's regular. And now with marcato, so you can see how that's different than an accent. All right, and then another one that we're going to talk about is portato. This one is written as a staccato with a slur above. So you might have 4 notes next to each other, and you'll have the 4 dots, like a staccato with the slur on the top, the curved line. If you see this, don't be confused. It is not a staccato. Some people see that and they want to go. Portato means gently pulsed legato. So you want it as connected as can be, but it has a little pulse. Like a regular one would just be, but the portato, it's very, very subtle, but you'll notice it sometimes, and all the articulations are very subtle, but they do make a big difference, so don't forget to do them when you're playing your piece. You can think of portato as a rain gently tapping on the window. This is a good way to think about it. Just gently with like a raindrop feel, the little pulse. Okay, and then the next one is tenuto. This one is just a line, a straight line above the note. What this means is play to the full value with weight. Another very subtle one. Sometimes I like thinking about it as if you're going to the movie and you watch the whole movie, but then you leave before the credits, that's kind of like a regular note. But if you stay for the whole movie and through the credits at the end till the very last scene and it shuts off, that is like a tenuto. You held it, you stayed, or you held it for the whole entire value. So that is the basic of articulations, the symbols and the meanings, and how they sound when they're alone. One additional thing I want to add is you can enhance these articulations by using the pedal. So how would a staccato sound if you played it with a pedal? Regular, with a pedal. So just depending upon the mood of the piece, you could do something like that. Or you could do it with the portato, the one that is like the pulse, and you could hold the pedal down with that. And then, of course, the legato, which is the smooth connected notes. If we play that without the pedal, they're connected still, but with the pedal, it makes it even more. Where you get the blurry feeling with it. So the pedal helps with the release of the note. So like I said at the beginning, articulations are how you attack the note and then how to release the note. Let's just take this little melody and play it first flat, now legato, and staccato. and portato. And then with an accent. And tenuto. And marcato. So as your takeaway for today, articulation is how you shape your notes with emotions, intention, and direction. It's how you make your music speak. So think of it as musical pronunciation. Each staccato, portato, slur, and tenuto gives your music a very unique voice. Experiment with articulations in your practice, and you'll notice how even the simplest pieces begin to tell powerful stories with the use of articulations. If you're interested in how articulations work, tune in next Monday for a deeper look into them and how you can use them to help with musical expression. Don't miss out on our upcoming events. The third session of the Mastery Pathway to Piano starts Tuesday, April 29th at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Also, check out the Piano Studio Book Club, and you can find the link at cynthialistudios.com/piano community. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, and follow so you never miss a lesson or a story. I can't wait to continue this journey with you. Until next time, keep practicing the piano and enjoying music.